Thank you for staying with us here on Politics Today on Channels Television. Of course, here is where we talk about the biggest of the stories making the rounds in the political scene in Nigeria. And of course, you know what you can do when we are talking about these issues. You can be part of it. As you're listening and watching what we are talking about, you also can be part of it. Just go online via Twitter. You can be part of it. Well, our Twitter handle here is at CTV Politics and hashtag Politics Today. And let's see what your comments and your opinions are about this issue. Well, of course, you can tweet also at my own personal handle is at Sheung Oking. Or you want to send an email, send it to politicstoday@channelstv.com and we get your opinions on air here. We'll make sure that we'll be able to read a few of them today on the program. We told you earlier that we've been talking about the Rivers governorship election. We move into the Akwa Ibom governorship election matter now, where the case has gone to appeal court. Well, from the tribunal nullifying in 18 local government areas for a rerun. But in the appeal court, the case is slightly different. Also, in the favor of the APC. The governor, Emmanuel Udom, of the PDP and his party has gone to the Supreme Court to challenge this case. And they're certain about winning, or even if there is any rerun, the party feels they're on the ground, they will win this time around. Well, I have joining me a legal practitioner for the APC. He's also on the team, the legal team of Mr. Omana Okon, the candidate of the APC in Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Effiong Okwong joins us on the program. Thank you so much, Mr. Okwong, for joining us on the program.
It's a pleasure.
It's quite interesting that after the tribunal judgment, your party moved to ask the court to nullify in all the local government area. It looks so much you're not. Are you? It looks like your party was not confident about winning in those local government. Or what exactly brought about that matter of you trying to ask the courts to nullify in all of the local governments in Akwa Ibom State?
Yeah, many reasons. One, by allowing 13 local governments to remain untouched, the candidate of the PDP, Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, was already 400,000 votes ahead. And that would have been detrimental to APC and our candidate, Omana Konomana. That is one. Two, we were not satisfied with the analysis, evaluation of evidences that we presented at the tribunal. For example, we were able to point out from the local government, let me take an example in Parenen local government. From EC 8B, which is the watch results, that form was signed by only one person in all the wards of that local government, 13 wards. One person signed all of it, as if that person was the PDP agent in all the wards of that local government. It points to something. It shows that they just sat in one place, and then they recorded whatever they wanted to record, and then that person signed. It happened like that in so many local government areas that were allowed among the 13. In other instances, people, those who were their PDP agents, in their witness statement on oath, this person say, I am showing Logun. I was the PDP agent in Oyo East Ward 2. And now you go to the result sheet of Oyo East Unit 2 or Ward 2, and you discover that the person that signed it is a different person. And it went on like that. And then the fact that everybody knows that proper election was not conducted.
When you say that proper elections were not conducted, proper elections, or the tribunal actually canceled the election in 18 out of the 31 local government area, which it says, it's been able to validate that there were discrepancies in those local government elections. Your case was that of the issue of the use of the manual accreditation in that exercise. What exactly were you telling the panel at the appeal court about this issue? Because that seems to be the getaway when the card readers are not working.
Yeah, it was not just the card reader. There were other issues, non-compliance. Now, let me give you an example. The INEC came up with guidelines. And in the guidelines, they stated the modus operandi of the election. And they said that card reader will be used. And that this card reader, the workability of it, in it, even if you say somebody's biometrics was not captured, but the card reader retains information as to successful and unsuccessful accreditation inside it. And so if you said, okay, I did not use the card reader, or card reader did not work, then there is, you say you use manual accreditation. What is manual accreditation? Manual accreditation means that somebody has presented his voter's card. Don't forget that this voter card is a different voter card. It must be validated through the card reader. That one does not fail. The card reader will read that you are the owner of this card reader. And when that is done, you now go to the person in charge, the polling officers who are in charge of this thing. Then they will look at the register. And if your name is there and all the particulars are there, they will now ask you to fill incident form. And then they will allow you to go ahead and vote. Now, having made the case that the card reader was used, and the figure of the card reader is 437,128 that were accredited through the card reader. And then the PDP, Udom Emmanuel, said, no, we use manual accreditation. Then it was incumbent upon them to present, to tender in court the incident form so that it can be said, okay, this number was card reader, this number was through manual accreditation. They didn't tender it. They brought it to court and did not tender.
But you know that there were problems with the devices, you know, and there are a lot of crises during the general elections about the use of the card reader.
No, in the pleadings of both the PDP, INEC, and Udom, they said that there was no sustained malfunction of the card reader in Akwa Ibom State. They said so. All of the parties agreed that card reader was used. So then, how then did you say you conducted election through the manual process? Okay, let's take for example, the card reader says 437,128 people were accredited. Now, the voter's card, because if you say you use manual, then if you give somebody, you must tick his name. There was a column for ticking, both accreditation and then voting. Now, what the number that was ticked was 448,307. How come then that you had 1,122,885 votes? So there was a clear case of overvoting, whichever way you look at it.
The appeal court answered and agreed on all your prayers, isn't it?
Yes, they did. Because that was justice. That was the truth of the matter. That was the truth. They evaluated the evidences that were presented at the tribunal, which the tribunal itself did not look at those evidences as was presented.
But again, one will look at the situation that some of these cases as relating to the use of the card readers, the permanent voter cards, the biometrics issue, were some of the cases we had in other states. But it looks like the cases in your own case, for example, in the case of Akwa Ibom, for example, the judgment looks to be different from what has happened in some other states. A lot of people had said it looks like the same template, but different judgments.
No, that is not correct. Let's take Lagos, because the first test of the card reader issue went to the Court of Appeal.
The governorship election
very good,
between Abuja and Ambode.
Very good. Now, what the appeal court said was that what the petitioner in Lagos did was that he used the card reader as part of his what he asked the court to, which was the grievance. The appeal court said no, you can only use it as a fact to prove your grounds. You cannot use it as a ground, because the Electoral Act has provided the grounds, which you can even lift it as it is. So you cannot go and say that election was not conducted based on card reader. That is no ground. But you can use it as a fact. So the Court of Appeal is consistent. They did not say card reader was not to be used. Because if card reader was not to be used, why did INEC introduce card reader?
But again, one will ask the question, can the guideline, INEC guideline, supersede the Electoral Act, for example, or the Nigerian Constitution?
No.
If the judgment, for example, the reliance of some of the judgment or the statement in the ruling of the appeal court was on the INEC guideline, which were just a guideline, and over the Electoral Act or the ground norm of the nation, the Constitution.
No. The Constitution does not go into the modus operandi, the method of voting. The Constitution is all about qualification.
But again,
the
guideline, just a moment, the guideline
yes,
talked about the use of the card readers, the incident form, the manual accreditation. But again, one will ask the question, can it stand the test of time in a court of relevant jurisdiction in this particular case, where we talk about the Electoral Act that did not even mention all of these gadgets?
No. The card reader thing is complementary. It's complementary of the Electoral Act. It is not against it. It does not add to it. It only complements it. Look, it is about accreditation, which is at the core of every election.
But when we talk about accreditation,
yes,
it's the spine of every election.
Yes.
Where the guideline only talked about the card readers, the use of the card reader, the Electoral Act did not.
No.
Are you saying that when the Court of Appeal actually sat, basically to look at what to be guided by the INEC guideline as against the use of the Electoral Act?
No. The Electoral Act says a voter will present his voter's card. And if the presiding officer is satisfied that that voter's card belongs to that voter, then he will go ahead and give him the ballot paper to vote. Now let's take the card reader. What is the card reader? The card reader is the means of authenticating the voter's card, right, because this voter's card is an electronic voter's card. Without the card reader, you cannot authenticate it. You cannot validate it.
If I may just cut in now so that we allow another opinion on this matter.